Good evening, everyone. Tonight I'd like to just show you the life of a single note. Each finger has to be like a singer. It has to make the piano sing. And so there's a whole thing about your body that has to come into play to make that happen on a single note. And then you have to link it to the next note and the next and make your phrases sing and shape and be poetic and all this kind of thing. So if you can take a single note and just listen, it's all listening, but know that you don't want to force the key down or press it down or push it down in any way, because that's going to cause an aggressive sound to come out of the piano. Like if I go, it's aggressive. I want it to sing. So you have to understand harmonics. You have to know that if this is an A, 440 vibrations in a second, it's also vibrating at 880. So if I hold the damper off of the 880 and I play this one heavy, the low one, you hear the octave higher. Starts up vibrating by sympathetic vibration. Then there's a fifth, and you'll hear it when you play that A, and the double octave and all the other intervals. And those are colors. So one single note, you're responsible for all those colors. And Chopin knew that when he did the Nocturne in D flat major. One pedal. There he changes it. So one single note. Know your body, know what you're doing with your body weight, because you have to be able to be like a front load fork lifter. You have to get that weight out there in your hands, into your hand, so, excuse me, so that it can fall into the next note. And so you have to deliver it in there, but if you deliver it too fast and in a hurry, you get an aggressive sound, because you're getting your weight in and your arms away from you, but you're pushing, and you don't want to push. You want to have a movable wrist. So imagine picking up that box that holds the deck of cards, just with, say, 2% of the energy that you could grip it with, but just enough to give your hand a shape, and then the elbow moving, that movable elbow, and the wrist coming up, and the hand being able to turn like a doorknob, clockwise or counterclockwise. All these movements while you're holding that box, that little box of cards, the deck of cards, because when you can come out with the elbow, Joseph Hoffman explained that to Georges Boulez when he had a difficulty in one of the runs that he was playing, and he said, just lift your elbow out, pull your elbow out from your side a little to direct the weight of your arm into your hand to fall into that next note. That's all it is. It's just directing your weight so that when it drops and you flop through with that movable wrist, you can pull up in the wrist and make it sing. So if I go, it can be as tender as you want. If I want, intonation, so you hear it die down, and then you draw that. Hear it die down and match how quiet it got. That one. Not, but it can't be this. Is so. And you're doing this with the weight. When your arms go out like that, then draw like this. If I go, can't be da da. It's good da da. Then it draws you into hearing the cadences that are at the ends of the phrases instead of just one of the two notes of a cadence, or if it's a note preceding the cadence, a chord preceding it, chord of approach, and then the 5-1 or the 5-6 for a deceptive cadence, all these different things, or 4/1 for the church cadence. You have to hear the resolution, and then you're going to draw the listener into listening to what you're trying to communicate. But you want to make one single note sing. If I go like this, see it, the elbow up, out, deliver into the hand, flop, and pull up in the wrist. See, I can't play too loud, or it drowns this out that's dying. This has got to be 2, 3, 1. It's died down. So you're drawing your tone from your heart while you sing. You are singing inside of yourself, and then you have to make that finger sing. And when you can do that, then it's worth listening to. If I go, but you see, if you're in too big a hurry to get into it, you get that kind of a sound. It's too aggressive. You want to release up and pull up in the wrist and let what you load into the hand fall, but turn the doorknob so that you hear the top. One note. So it's just how sharp you play the finger down from the main arch, and the finger's firm because of this closing and this closing working against and making it firm, but the movable wrist and the grip and the rotation to bring out the voice that you want, the note that you want to hear and make it sing. And then it's a beautiful thing to do. If you go Ave Maria and you it's just loosen up your whole body, be able to turn this way and this in coming up to what you want. If you want a big sound, pull up there and just feel. You see, you can have lots of power if you want. Each note, a singing note, each note has to sing, and then it's going to be beautiful. Like now, you see that was a little harsh. If I go 1, 2, to relax the hand. Pull up in the wrist as you fall through. One note, singing, and I didn't push it down. I drew it down, I pulled it down in a sense as the finger plays down, but I pull up in the wrist, and so then it can be as much velvet as you want in the sound. Just so tender. So I hope that gives you a few ideas just to make the piano sing with each finger you play, and get the balance between the voices and all that kind of thing, and start to be really creative with the sound and is fun to practice that way anyway. I hope you enjoyed that. Have a good night. Bye-bye.